Last week, we toured 9 Legend Homes floor plans. But here's the truth. A great house in the wrong neighborhood is a bad investment. Today, we're ranking all 4 communities where these homes are being built. Cliffstone Hills, Mackenzie Creek, Granger Pines, and Ridgeland Hills. We're talking taxes, HOA fees, amenities, and that commute that could break your morning. Let's find the winner. First up, Cliffstone Hills. It sits right off Loop 336, about 3.5 miles from I-45. The tax rate is approximately 3.01%, and the HOA runs about $495 per year. For Legend Homes in this market, that's on the lower end of the ongoing cost picture. On amenities, I'll be honest, this is the no-frills option of the 4. You've got a community pool, a playground, and a pavilion. It does what it needs to do, but the people who live here aren't paying for resort amenities, and that's a legitimate choice. In terms of the commute, this is one of the strongest in the group. To the Woodlands, you're looking at 15 to 20 minutes. Downtown Houston in rush hour, plan for 45 to 60. The I-45 access is as direct as it gets. Schools here are zoned to Conroe ISD, which I'm going to hit on in the next community. Just down the road, Mackenzie Creek. Same tax rate as Cliffstone at about 3.01%, same HOA at $495 per year. Same school district as well, Conroe ISD, which feeds to Conroe High School. So on paper, these two look almost identical. Quick mention on taxes. One thing to always ask the builder is about whether the advertised tax rate includes your MUD tax. Municipal utility districts are separate taxing entities that fund local infrastructure: water, sewer, roads, and drainage. They're extremely common in new construction in Texas, and they can add anywhere from a few hundred to over $1,000 a year to your tax bill depending on the district. Sometimes they're already folded into the rate you see, sometimes they're not. Make sure to ask and get it in writing. Don't let that be a surprise on your first tax bill. Now, I told you I was going to touch on Conroe ISD. This is a detail that matters because Conroe ISD has been rated the #1 school district in all of Montgomery County by niche.com for 5 consecutive years. Overall A grade. Top 10 in the Houston area, top 7% in the state. That is a legitimately strong district. In terms of what's around you, at Mackenzie Creek, Carl Barton Jr. Park is essentially your backyard. We're talking a 200-acre city park with soccer fields, walking trails, fishing, and access to the water. So if your family spends weekends outside, that proximity changes your daily life in ways that don't show up in the listing. The community itself has a park and playground on site. Not a pool like Cliffstone, but you've got 200 acres of recreation just steps away that most communities would charge a premium HOA to replicate. The commute mirrors Cliffstone almost exactly. Easy access to I-45, 15 or 20 minutes to the Woodlands, maybe an hour downtown. Now our heavy hitter, Granger Pines. Lowest tax rate of the 4 at approximately 2.93%. And when you walk through it, it genuinely feels different from the others. This is a 460-acre master plan community, and the amenity package reflects that. The crown jewel here is the Grove, a 6-acre park with a splash pad, a covered pavilion, walking trails, and pocket parks throughout the community. The trails are well maintained with doggy bag stations throughout. It's also just a different feel in terms of the homes. As you drive around here, you'll notice a lot of brick exterior versus the other 3 communities, the homes are mostly siding. The school story here is layered. The good news first, Hope Elementary is located on site inside the neighborhood. In new construction at this price point, that's very unusual and genuinely valuable for young families. Now, the part a lot of agents won't say on camera. Granger Pines is in Conroe ISD, and as I mentioned, the district as a whole is excellent, but the high school you're zoned to here is Caney Creek, not Conroe High. And those 2 schools are not in the same tier. Caney Creek carries a C+ rating on niche.com. The district average for math proficiency runs around 50%. Caney Creek's math proficiency is closer to 21%. Now, schools change, leadership changes, demographics shift, and Caney Creek has a 96% graduation rate and a strong extracurricular program. So that also matters. But if you have, say, a 9-year-old and you're making a 10-year decision, the high school they're zoned to is part of that calculation. So just know what's going on. On the commute, and this is the honest part of the Granger Pines conversation, the location is further east, and the highway access is not as direct as the first 2 communities. You're navigating surface roads to reach I-45 or I-69 before you're actually on your way anywhere. To the Woodlands, you're looking at maybe 25 minutes on a good day. Downtown Houston in traffic, 55 to 70 minutes. If you're driving daily, that adds up over the course of a week. The HOA here is $650 per year, plus a one-time cap fee of approximately $650 when you close. Higher than Cliffstone and Mackenzie, and that difference reflects what you're buying into. On the tax side, the difference between the lowest rate in this group, Granger Pines at 2.93%, and the highest, which we'll get into in a second, is 0.19%. So on a $275,000 home, that's roughly $44 a month. Add the HOA difference between communities, and you're in the $50 to $65 per month range in total ongoing cost variation. Not nothing, but also not the deciding factor unless you're right at the edge of your budget. Finally, Ridgeland Hills. We're heading north to Willis for this one, and Ridgeland Hills is a fundamentally different conversation from the other three. The tax rate is approximately 3.12%, the highest of the four. The HOA is $825 per year, also the highest of the four. So what is the $825 actually buying? A resort-style pool, a covered pavilion with a fire pit, a community boardwalk, a fishing pier, and rolling hill terrain that the developer preserved rather than flattening, which gives this community a look and feel that's genuinely different from a typical flat suburban subdivision. Combined with Lake Conroe minutes away and Sam Houston National Forest nearby, this is the community where the lifestyle premium is real. Now, the part that changes the conversation for families. Ridgeland Hills is zoned to Willis ISD, not Conroe ISD. Willis ISD is on an improvement trajectory. They earned 6 state distinctions in 2025, and the superintendent has been transparent about where they're focused. But right now, Willis ISD test scores are still trailing the state average. They're moving in the right direction, they just haven't caught up quite yet. If we're talking commute, this one is further north than all three of the others. To the Woodlands, maybe 30 minutes, downtown Houston, 60 and up. But you're also close to the highway. You are genuinely trading commute time for scenery here. Whether that trade makes sense depends on whether you work remotely, how often you're actually driving, and how much the lifestyle factors weigh against the daily drive. So here's the bottom line on these four communities. Cliffstone Hills and Mackenzie Creek share the top spots for both HOA and commute times. Granger Pines takes the cake for lowest tax rate, and my vote for best amenities is Ridgeland Hills. Ultimately, you have to choose the lifestyle that fits your daily drive and your budget. Regardless of which one you pick, Legend Homes is offering some of the best entry points into North Houston right now. If you're ready to see any of these homes or lots in person, or you want a breakdown of the current 4.99% interest rate incentives for a specific community, book a call with me with the link right in the top of the description. Don't forget to check out part 1 if you missed the floor plans tour. I'll see you in the next one.